G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jaden and I do weekly Thursday trip report. I'm at Singapore Changi Terminal 1 and today I'm flying Qantas back to Adelaide via Sydney. Now let's go in and check in. And good thing is you no longer have to wear a mask at Changi Airport, but on a plane to Australia you still have to wear it. Changi Airport Terminal 1 is hustling and bustling. Qantas alone has multiple flights departing this late afternoon, including 2 flights to Sydney and 1 flight each to London Heathrow and Melbourne. British Airways also has 2 flights, 1 to Sydney and 1 to London. I've previously done British Airways Club World from Singapore to Sydney. I'll have the link to that trip report in the video description. Check-in, including priority check-in, is self-serve at Changi Airport. After that, you go drop your bags at the desk. I arrived at the airport quite late today, so check-in just now was quite quiet. I then went past immigration, that took 2 minutes. I'm now in the airside of Terminal 1. Qantas has multiple airline partners and their own lounges here in Terminal 1. Most Qantas passengers would go to the Qantas Business or First Class Lounge. With my Qantas Economy boarding pass and OneWorld Sapphire status, I could use the Qantas Business Lounge, British Airways Lounge, and the Emirates Lounge before my Qantas flight. There's a Qatar Airways Lounge here as well, but you need to be actually flying in business or first class on any OneWorld carrier. OneWorld Emerald or Sapphire status won't suffice. So today I'm going to do a little bit of lounge hopping, the Qantas Business Lounge first and then the Emirates Lounge. Last month I checked out the BA Lounge here before I flew BA to Sydney. You can find out how the lounge looks like in my BA trip report to Sydney. So my first impression of the Qantas Business Lounge here at Changi, it's massive, which makes sense because they have multiple flights departing at around the same time. Your food selection here is quite extensive, plenty of hot food options as well as dessert and wines. It's a nice lounge for a layover I guess, but this one definitely isn't my favourite Qantas International Lounge. It's very big, but the ceiling is low and there's not much natural lights coming in. It's lacking of a bit of energy I guess. Next we checked out the Emirates Lounge. You can get in here with your Qantas boarding pass if you're flying in business or first, or in economy with your Qantas or Emirates Gold or Platinum status. Just like the Qantas Business Lounge, there's plenty of hot food here, but the selection in the Emirates Lounge is a bit more westernized, and I reckon you have better choices for alcohol here. The champagne offered here is Moe. That will make a very fancy and expensive mimosa. All in all, it's a smaller lounge, but I think I prefer this one. It looks cozier and the furniture looks comfortable here. Like literally every sofa comes with a pillow. You don't have that in a Qantas lounge. It's almost time for boarding. I decided to walk around in the outdoor area, and that's our plane by the way. It's a 19-year-old Qantas Airbus A330-300 Victor Hotel, Quebec, Papa Charlie. This would be at least my 3rd time on this very aircraft. I flew this plane from Sydney to Singapore back in July 2015, literally a few months before I started my channel, and from Melbourne to Singapore in June 2022.
Gold. Hi there. Evening. This is first class, welcome.
Thank you.
Hi there. Welcome. Just crossing over into your right.
Welcome on board Qantas A330-300. My seat today is 31A. All Qantas A330-300 have been refurbished, and they all got this very type of seats. So configuration is in a standard 242. You have a large TV in front of you and it tells you your seat number, and you've got headphone jack and USB port. Underneath you'll find a pocket for your personal items. It comes in really handy on a long flight. And then a standard tray table, you can move it back and forth and fold it in half. Further down you'll find more pockets. The larger one behind is for the in-flight magazine, the smaller one for your personal items like passport and boarding pass. Legroom isn't the best, but it's okay at 31 inches. I'm 5'10 or 178 cm tall. One of the best features on Qantas long-haul economy is that every seat comes with a netted footrest. It's like a hammock for your feet. And right there I'm pointing at is a power outlet. It's universal and you'll need to share it with your neighbour. Every seat comes with a comfortable headrest. You can move it up and down and fix the sides so you can lean on it. Prepared for you on this long haul flight is a pair of headsets, rather comfortable and long blanket and a soft pillow. It's one of the best economy class pillows out there. The Qantas A330-300 has one of my favourite economy seats. It will be my top one if it's got more legroom and coat hook.
If you are seated at the bulkheads on an exit row, all bags need to go to in the overhead lockers. Today we are on a very full flight, and we would appreciate if you put smaller bags under the seat in front of you, only the large carry-on bag in your bag lockers, and make sure you're
loading to go into the bulk hold. Then we'll get our final load check. We should be underway fairly shortly. Got a flight time of 7 hours and just under 7 hours and 15 minutes on the way down. This evening we'll be taking off towards the south, and Singapore should be on the right hand side of the city for our departure. And, pretty much our track this evening takes us up to, we'll climb up to 35,000 feet.
We take a journey through 100 years of innovation and Australian spirit.
This here's a Macro 504 motorway, made from timber and canvas. You're flying on a Qantas Airbus A330. Sounds a bit flasher than this old girl.
If you need to evacuate, leave the lights behind. Slide, leaning forward with your hands on.
Now that we've taken off, I'll quickly show you the in-flight entertainment system. On Qantas, you have a good selection of movies and TV shows to choose from. Newer movies include Top Gun and Doctor Strange. It's an easy system to navigate around. Probably the major drawback is that the flight map is not interactive and the slides change slowly. So now I'm just watching the Australian ABC News.
For your safety, we don't allow anyone, including children, to sleep on the floor. Once again, it's a pleasure having you on board.
Our cabin crew members are handing out arrival forms for Australia.
I want to quickly say hello to everyone. Welcome on board. My crew have come to the cabin distribute a arrival form that is for customers coming to any Australian cities. If you are transiting to another international destination, you do not need to fill out this form. And shortly after that, we'll be quickly serving you supper. There are three choices available to choose from. If you want to go to the main screen of the entertainment system, tap the knife and fork icon, the full menu.
Although there's no more paper menus in economy class, I don't mind looking through them on the screen at all. To begin the service, the cabin crew are giving out water bottles to everyone. That is quickly followed by amenities like toothbrush, toothpaste, and eye shades. Our crew are now serving us dinner. So we've got three options. The first one being tofu noodles. That's the very one I got. Second option is roasted chicken, and third option, stir-fried pork with rice. I'm not a vegan and normally I don't even go for a vegetarian option, but actually I'm really hungover. I drank a lot before going to the airport and I threw up on the highway on the way to Changi. So I decided to go for something a bit more bland. For drinks, I asked the crew for a sparkling mineral water. The crew said there's none left, so I got a soda water instead. However, my neighbour literally ordered the same thing, same food and drinks, and the crew gave him sparkling water. I was too stunned to speak. Along with the noodle, we got a garlic bread and a sweet bread. Both of them were quite good. As for the noodle, it was actually really bland. I added some salt and pepper in it.
Thank you.
Hello there, welcome to Qantas A330-300 economy class lavatory. I'm wearing a mask partly because I have to, but more like because the person behind me shat. Space-wise it's okay. You got a mirror right behind you, got a hook, which I'm going to use right now to hang my jumper. There we go. So, you know, Singapore's like 30 degree plus, but Australia's really cold, like minimum 5 degrees in Adelaide and 12 to 14 in Sydney, so it's a good idea to wear a jumper. The crew have collected the meal trays and now they're back for coffee and tea.
Can I have a white tea, no sugar, please? Thank you.
So here's my white tea with no sugar and a piece of Tim Tam. Now that the in-flight service for this evening has ended, I'm going to recline my seat and catch a nap. We've just got less than 5 hours to go. If you're enjoying this video so far, please leave a like, comment down below and share this video with your friends. And if you're new to my channel, I'm so glad you made it here. I upload a new trip report like this one every single week, so be sure to hit that subscribe and bell button so you won't miss out again. Every now and then the cabin crew would come to the aisle to give out water. With an hour left to our flight, the cabin crew began the breakfast service. I thought I was going to sleep so badly because of my hungover, but turned out I had a really good 3.5 hours sleep. It's a smaller meal this time and just one option, it's a pastry. Ta-da, it's a vegetarian pastry and it looks really dry, and it tasted really dry. And for drinks I went for a good old white tea again. The sun is rising and we're flying over New South Wales now. The crew are going to start bombarding us with government announcements.
The following announcement is an announcement from the New South Wales Government. New South Wales Health recommends that you monitor the COVID-19 symptoms. If you do develop symptoms, have a COVID-19 test and self-isolate until you can receive a negative result. A PCR test is preferred. If you test positive to COVID-19 on a rapid antigen test, register your positive result with Service New South Wales online at servicenewsouthwales.gov.au. Consider the people that you interact with, especially those of risk of severe disease. You no longer need to wear a face mask whilst inside the airport. However, you must wear a face mask on public transport. For more information about New South Wales...
Contact with farm animals in the past 30 days. Remember, all food you are served on board must be left on board. Do not take it with you when you leave. You are responsible for all items in your luggage. If you don't declare truthfully, it may result in a penalty.
14 degrees Celsius and quite a strong breeze out of the southeastern showers, so it's not exactly pleasant, but we're anticipating commencing descent in a few minutes' time and have you touching down at it's indicating there at 6:45 at the moment. If you didn't see your watches, the time is now 9 minutes past 6. Now once we get on the ground, we've made a sign on the runway which is quite away from the terminal, probably about a 10-minute taxi to have you disembarking by about 5%. Trust you enjoyed the service with us. Those of you returning home to Australia, welcome home, and those of you visiting, hope you enjoy your stay. And happy Father's Day to all those fathers. Good morning.
So the pilots have started descending our aircraft. So normally I'll do my conclusion here, but this video it's a bit special. I'm doing 2 flights in one. I'll do conclusion for both flights at the end of this video. Now please enjoy the approach and landing into Sydney Kingsford Smith Airport.
Qantas would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the airport land, the Gum and Gold people. We would also like to pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. The local time is 6:45 a.m. on Sunday the 4th of September. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign is off. As always, smoking, vaping and the use of e-cigarettes is not permitted whilst disembarking or throughout the terminal. Please take care when opening overhead lockers, as baggage may have moved and could fall out. Before leaving, ensure that you check your seat and seat pocket for any personal items. If you can reach your mobile phone, you can now turn off flight mode. And on behalf of us all here at Qantas and One World, thank you for choosing to fly with us. And if you're visiting Sydney, we do hope you enjoy your stay. And of course, for those returning home, welcome home.
So I just got off the plane, went through immigration, got my bags even though they're tagged all the way to Adelaide because I had to clear custom with them. So now with my checked in luggage, I'm going to the Qantas bus terminal, just a few steps outside the international terminal, drop my bags there, and then I had to go through the domestic security before I got onto this bus to the Qantas domestic terminal, which is Terminal 3. "80 minutes since I got off the plane in Terminal 1, I made it to the Qantas domestic terminal. I've only got 20 minutes before boarding, so I'm going to check out a Qantas lounge quickly, brush my teeth, and then board my plane to Adelaide." Hello, welcome to the Qantas Club shower room here at Sydney Airport. I won't take a shower here because I've only got like 15 minutes before I have to board my flight, so just a quick tour, and I'm going to use the toilet after this. The shower is here. Leaking water, and the toilet, you've got a nice mirror here and lots of premium tissue. You have coat hook, a bit, I'm too short for that. So I don't have time to eat here today at all because now it's boarding time for our flight to Adelaide. But as per usual, our flight is delayed by 15 minutes. So I could have spent an extra 15 minutes here to eat and grab a chai latte. So our aircraft to Adelaide is slightly younger than the A330 from Singapore, but the seats on board this 737 look way older. You'll find out in a second. So it's a 16-year-old Qantas Boeing 737-800 Victor Hotel, Victor Yankee Kilo.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Qantas Flight 7.
Hello, how are you? That's your emergency exit today.
Yep.
So all your bags in the locker and just read the briefing card on your seat.
No worries. Thank you.
Thanks for helping out.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, you're on the next super row, Mr. Wong. You're good with that?
Yeah, no worries.
Thanks for helping out.
Thank you.
Welcome on board Qantas 737. Here's my favourite seat on board, 4A, directly behind business class and plenty of legroom. But today our seat is 13A. I'll quickly show you the seat features. So we've got a tablet holder instead of a TV. Underneath a tray table, you can move it back and forth, but you can't fold it in half. And then down here, a seat pocket. Between every two seats, you'll find two USB ports. There's no power socket in economy class. Emergency exit seats mean extra legroom. Every Qantas 737 economy seats come with a headrest. You can adjust the sides and move it up and down.
Your seat promptly. Once you have found your seat, please place larger bags in the overhead lockers and smaller bags under the seat in front. If you are seated at an overwing exit or row 1 in the business cabin, all cabin baggage needs to be stowed in the overhead lockers. Where possible, place your bags wheels first to maximise available space. We would like to remind everyone that it is a government requirement for all customers and cabin crew to wear a face mask that covers both your nose and mouth.
Right, as you're aware, you are seated at an emergency exit today, and that means in the event that the aircraft needs to be evacuated this morning, these exits do become your responsibility. There is a possibility that a crew member will not be here to assist you. Welcome to the 1970s, when Qantas first introduced business class. Before you got on the working approach, right today in your Qantas magazine, located in your seat pocket. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for showing respect to each other and our crew. Thank you for your loyalty. Thank you for your support.
And thank you for your attention.
The meal service began shortly after takeoff. For food today, we've only got one option, a spinach and tomato quiche. Does this actually remind you of the quiche we got on board QF81 from Singapore to Sydney? But luckily this time, it's not as dry and actually tastes really good. For drinks, I went for a bottle of still water and a white tea. I would say this is a very lovely meal on a short flight within Australia. For the in-flight entertainment, you've got Inflight magazine. There's also high-speed free Wi-Fi. I'm now watching iFly Aviation's trip reports on board Air New Zealand. It's really high in resolution and everything loads right away.
New Zealand. I'm about to fly with Air New Zealand to Adelaide on an A321neo in economy class. It's going to be a really good flight.
Hello there, welcome on board Qantas 737 economy class Lavatory. Very tiny here with mood lighting. The basin tiny, very tiny. We got two cahoots.
Be aware restrictions are currently in place on the mix of fruit and vegetables within South Australia due to fruit fly outbreaks. Find out what you need to do. Visit fruitfly.sa.gov.au.
So we're now descending into Adelaide Airport and we can see the airport right now. So let's quickly conclude this trip report with Qantas right here, right now. Our journey started last night in Changi Terminal 1. Plenty of lounges there were spoiled by choices. My two personal favourites were the Emirates Lounge and the BA Lounge that I visited the month prior. The cabin crew on both flights were friendly. From Singapore to Sydney and then onwards to Adelaide, we were given a hot meal after takeoff at Singapore, a quiche before landing and a quiche on board this flight from Sydney to Adelaide. The food portion would be okay without the domestic flight, but having just two quiche in the whole morning, I'm definitely left a bit hungry right now. As for seat comfort, the A330 was really comfortable, netted footrest, and many pockets for your personal items. I wish, however, there was more legroom and double seat back padding. The 737 seats have double seat back padding, average legroom, but at my seat 13A emergency row, the legroom was enormous. Entertainment wise, no Wi-Fi on the first flight, but TV. Second flight was the complete opposite, no TV but Wi-Fi. So it's one or the other. It will be brilliant if we get both. I never really talk about the transit experience, but let's quickly talk about it this time. So all international flights in and out of Sydney are at Terminal 1, domestic Qantas flights are at Terminal 3. If you have an onward boarding pass, you can take the bus free of charge, and you won't have to carry your bags because you drop it before you get on the bus. If you arrive and there aren't many flights arriving at the same time, you can go through all that process, immigration, custom, backlane and the bus within 30 minutes, but today it took 80 minutes because it was so busy. But it wasn't stressful at all. I made sure I had enough time between the two flights. So yeah, that's it for the conclusion. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.
Qantas would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands and waterways on which we live, work and fly. We would also like to pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. The local time in Adelaide here is approximately 10 past 10 a.m. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign is off. As always, smoking, vaping and the use of e-cigarettes is not permitted while disembarking or throughout the terminal. Please take care when opening the overhead lockers as baggage may have moved and could fall out. Before leaving, ensure you check your seat and seat pocket for any personal items. Please continue to wear a face mask as you exit the aircraft and take all used masks and wipes with you. We have been advised we will be using stairs for disembarkation. Please ensure you hold the handrail to avoid tripping. Use the designated walkway and please refrain from using electronic devices until you are inside the terminal. If you have any concerns, please use the forward door. If you can reach your phone, you can now turn off flight mode. On behalf of all of us here at Qantas and One World, thank you for choosing to fly with us. And also on behalf of everyone at Qantas, we would like to wish all our wonderful and brave dads on board a great Father's Day. If you are visiting Adelaide, we hope you enjoy your stay, and of course to those returning, welcome home.
Bye. See ya.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Boston. For your safety, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened and your cabin baggage stowed until the seatbelt sign has been turned